Okay, this is Average Drafter. We're going to take a quick look at dead mines here. This is a little rough on the frame rate. It's a little bit more improved from what we had it earlier, but still much more choppy than it's going to be in the final. In order to get this improvement, we had to cut the mob animation as far as their not their animation, but their AI for wandering around. Got a few solutions as far as taking care of that kind of thing, but for now, we just turned it off. So we do have mobs and they do move, but for now, they're just going to be stationary in their spawn locations. All right, let's pull this up. The first thing we're going to do is pull up the frame rate. As you can hear, we've got the music in, we've got some sound effects. So we'll have some nice Elwyn music to go by. You can see not great frame rate yet. It improves a little bit when things load up, but it stays in the 10 to 15 range when you're on the ground. And there's not really much I can do about that right this second. But so walking up and pressing A, just like a standard RPG, A is attack, A is also interact. And we have the other face buttons are assigned, but right now they are just kind of debug assigned. We haven't really built our actual combat system in yet, but these buttons will be doing other things once we get party members. But for now, they're just kind of doing debug stuff, and I'll show you that in a second. So we have the threat within. This is the quest that sends you inside the Abbey. Take that. This is the Pelt Skinner. I don't know if you're supposed to get this yet, but we are getting it. And then just the Greetings Adventure. And one of the little funny quirks we have right now, see these rabbits are being treated as NPCs for some reason. So when you talk to them, they Greetings Adventure from the rabbit, which I think is really funny. They got little quirks like that that are fun, that make this kind of a lot of fun to play with, because as you're building it, you can see all these neat little things. Everybody's hair is white, untextured. Everybody looks like old people or weird silver-haired hipsters or something. But yeah, everybody has white heads. It's funny, some of the elves look perfectly fine like that. But yeah, everybody has white hair. These guys are bald because they have... oh, and we don't have gear on everybody. So they have the textures for their gear that cover their bodies, but they don't have the actual gears yet. So, go in, complete the quest, accept this one, and yeah, for whatever reason it leaves you on, I think it might be double clicking on those, so I'll have to look at that to see what's actually happening, but it leaves you on the, if you accept a quest, it usually should shut down, but what it's doing is it just leaves you on the, if you then click on somebody, they'll say, hey, what's going on? Anyway. And I'm wondering, because we don't spawn with the interiors active, if the mobs that spawn in there are falling. So we'll have to find that out. So if you can see back there, and this is something I'll adjust so that it won't look like this whenever the inside of the mine is not rendering because it's outside of the level of detail. I'm wondering if it's colliders there and the mobs are not falling or whatever, but we'll check it out when we get in there. We'll see. Let's go pick up this quest. And we'll go ahead and kill. So I've got a tab target system. Right shoulder button is the tab target. Left shoulder button is basically like untarget. And whenever you tab target something, it automatically Z-targets it. And that's very rough right now, so it's very jarring. So I tend to want to go up to something and then target it. And as you can see, we've got a nice little targeting reticle that I made in Supermarker 3D, which is the node that I made for doing just this kind of stuff, UI elements and all sorts of stuff. I'll get into it at some point, but it does need a bunch of neat stuff, so I'll be pointing out when I use it, because I'll be using it a lot, because it does really useful stuff by design. And one of the useful things it's doing right here is these three circles are being a reticle. I don't know why I chose 3 circles, but I did. And then once I started thinking about it, I realized I could start displaying a lot of information on these 3 circles when the time comes, that you can quickly use to ascertain what's going on with that particular unit that you have selected. Because you have the outlines, and then you have the I don't know if you can notice, but it's an alpha fill in the middle, which means semi-transparent middle fill. Pretty much all the supermarker objects have an outline and a fill setting, and that fill can have a transparency. I don't think that the outlines do. They did at one point, but I think I took them out, or they fell out or something while we were developing. But it's just a really useful set of tools, and whenever I need something like this, I grab for it, and it's always worked. You know, for the 5 or 6 things that I've used it for when I'm building these sorts of things, it's been really useful. So I'm really happy with the way it's worked in practice. But that's Supermarker 3D. It's basically an extension of the Godot Marker 3D, which is essentially the worst, most useless node in Godot. I mean, it's probably not, but it's practically. Supermarker 3D basically puts a little axis in the editor to mark something, to mark a place of something, and that's it. And you don't see it in play, and it's not very useful. So you can do that with Supermarker 3D. That's the first thing I made sure you could do, that you could put an axis in editor that only shows up in editor. And then you can do about 1 billion other things. And I'll go through that at some point, but that's Supermarker 3D. It was a little bit of a detour. But anyway, let's kill this one. Okay, so Zelda type push and swing. I don't know, I think that cuts down the desktop audio a little bit. It was a little much. Well, I'll check it out, see how it comes out in the mix. Point being, you've got this, you can see, I put the controller on here so that you guys can see exactly when I'm pushing stuff. So you can see I'm tapping. But if I just tap it once, tapping a latch, pretty much as many times as I can get with the animation cycles and the frame rate. Obviously that's going to be standardized, cleaned up and smoothed out and everything. And yeah, this is obviously not going to be how rough it is. It's, 6 frames per second is not a very good action feeling animation. And that's going to improve, and by hook or by crook, whatever cheats I have to do to make that feel better. My goal is to make this feel like a Muso, make it feel like a beat 'em up. Not the kind of stand there and trade whatever. I mean, it still feels like that right now because I just basically just super simplified the combat. So the way that this works is that obviously kills are kills. If you have a drop that a minion would drop, essentially you go kill that minion and it counts as dropping, so you bring it back and the quest is done. If you have a go activate this or go do that type quest, it's just automatically fulfilled. So that simplifies the quests. And I also have a, let me see if the quest log is working. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Close, abandoned permanently. It's supposed to be, I asked it to limit me on the level, because I have a level setter in here. So I can set my own levels for the quests specifically. It doesn't change anything else, just the level. But this shouldn't be available to me if I'm a level 1. So that's a thing that we'll take a look at, but that's okay. I'm not really concerned about that right this second. I just want to kill some kobolds. I had to mess around with the tap targeting a little bit to get it to where it picked up new close things, but it's supposed to pick up the closest thing and then kind of cycle through the way that tap targeting does. And the Z targeting is very jumpy, and I want to tighten that. Maybe have the Z targeting tied to the left trigger, so you can move through the targets and then use left trigger to actually Z target, like Zelda. But let's kill this guy. The other thing that I did for the quest is that I only need one of anything. So I only need one drop, I only need one kill. And let me show you the run. So as you can see by the controller, it says ×5. That's the ×5 run speed. That's as fast as I run. And I can swim up to 20, and I can swim through air. So it's fly. And I can fly up to 20 times fast speed. Okay, so I'm pretty sure we get that after we go turn in his first quest to here, which is the prerequisite for getting that one. But this is the Kobold chain. All right. If you just run, no auto attack. Hey, no auto attack. And it just stops. I'm pretty sure it doesn't run back, it just stops. And then left mouse button cancels target. I don't think we have a range cancel in yet. And then let's go talk to this lady. I'll try to not run around too much. Because it's very jarring as far as frame rate and all of a sudden one place and another. But I'm not going to run. I'm not going to walk from the mine to here. Okay. So that one was go pick up my wine, but since we can't pick up wine because it's not there because we don't have activated items yet, we just turned it in. So that's what happened there. And I just wanted to see if that worked or not. All right. See? Yeah. And I've got it set, you know, pretty pushovery. But, you know, challenging myself on testing stuff. I think that we have done everything in here. Let's go check out the mine real quick. Right? No, we still have a... Come on. Still have this turn in to do. There we go. And right, let's go check out the mine. Hey, it looks like everybody's here. Go inside. Even the red mobs will not attack you. They'll just stand there. They will attack you if you attack them. I haven't really messed with any of the settings and everything. I just kind of let Claude. I'm doing this all in Claude AI. This obviously just couldn't happen if I was doing this all by my own. I tried. I've tried to make games a lot, pretty much my whole life, and various levels of success. But my vision was always significantly bigger than my grasp. But now I have the tools to actually do what I was thinking of doing. Like these ideas about using WoW as an asset pack, I've had for over a decade. I just had no ability to actually exercise them. And now I do. That's what I'm doing. That's why a lot of this stuff is coming easy to me, because I've been thinking about it for a long time. So, gotta kill something. Yeah! Like using this particular run as a test bed has been percolating basically since Vanilla WoW. It's pretty clear and it's pretty well known that this is just a perfect patch of RPG goodness. This is classic RPG stuff. It's just it's a phenomenal piece of game design, and I want a prototype on it. Like, I want to build new stuff on this patch of land. Okay, so this is a good show you how odd the system can be sometimes. We just got all the go to the trainer letters. I don't even think I think the trainers might be there, but we're gonna just do this. Abandoned permanently. Yes, abandoned permanently. Abandoned permanently. We're just gonna abandon these permanently because we have a database of quests, and I'm letting Claude know, or just put it into the database. Essentially, yeah, this database here we set up so that it can hold all the abandoned permanent quests. We can go in there and edit it anytime we want to take these quests back out so they could do them again, but we don't want these quests. So I'm taking these guys out. Right. Okay, close. That one we do want to do. And with that, I think we actually are done here. Wait, we didn't get to do the... maybe that's the level. There we go. Okay, let me level myself to 5. So for some reason the other quest didn't have the level gate, but this one does. So I'm gonna level myself to 5. Let's go get some Garrick's head. Alright. Pardon me, I'm just gonna go kill your boss. Whoa, hey, okay. That's alright. I just turned on NC, if you saw that on the right trigger real quick. No collision. I needed that to pass through. I got pretty good on that trigger because it also acts a little weird. So, and by the way, this is the flying/swimming mode ×5. You want to see the landscape that we're talking about? And the frame rate is much better up here, as is the view. So let's just take a quick view real quick here. Take a look at what we're doing. Since we're done with Elwood, Northshire. And as you can see, a lot of those items over there in Stormwind are rendering. Those were rendering whenever we were in doing our questing. There's no reason for that. Or at least they were trying to. All these big buildings down here, a bunch of this stuff we don't want being draw calls being sent to. That all needs to be fine-tuned. But this is our adventure area. Northshire to Dead Mines. That's what we're covering. The rest of it is going to be shrouded. The borders of these are going to be shrouded in a thick fog. If you try to approach the fog, or if you try to go through the fog, various things are going to happen depending on where you're trying to do it at. And I don't want to spoil that or anything, but it should be fun. People who want to poke around the edges are going to have a good time finding interesting, fun kind of stuff. So, essentially, the rivers, it's Elwind, Stormwind, and Westfall, and the little bit of Stranglethorn where the ship gates are. That's pretty much my area, and the rest is going to be shrouded in fog. And you can kind of see those borders in the chunks that I chose, and the chunks I didn't choose. Because everything else is not important. And you also don't, and this is something that I can exclude whenever I do, some more fine-tuning and optimization. But for now, especially, I don't want to load a bunch of blasted land textures and things like that. So there is this bit of back area here. If you don't know, past the waterfall, I don't know if you can actually get to it in game. This is a vanilla classic first map, World of Warcraft, and I think all the interior items are on. So whatever's in here is whatever should be in here in the game. So there shouldn't be any tables or anything like that. But I don't know for a fact. that's the case. The way that things are classified in Warcraft are you have all these models that can be out in the world and stuff, but you also have interior models to like houses and stuff that all come with, like are basically stamped with the model. Um, and I'm trying to treat those as the same as just the regular world stuff, and just cull them out, um, at distance, just like the little items are. Uh, that way we can just separate the world models and just treat them separately from their little individual items. Let's see. Head back here. And yeah, as we get closer, the frame rate drops again. Most of that's because mobs and NPCs are loading. Um, and I'm not handling that very effectively yet because we just kind of added those and we just kind of debugged location issues. So this is pretty unoptimized right now. Our camera is not even uh, getting blocked by. Let's just drop back down. Normal walking around. Hey, Brother Niels. Thanks. Yeah, accuracy is not what we're striving for here. We're making new games, not trying to make real World of Warcraft. Trying to have new experiences, not try to rehash what already exists. Which obviously I got the quest and all that stuff, but the new experience is the combat system, the role-playing game system, and the reusing of the materials is just so that we can present a new system with familiar trappings, present a new system and something that everybody. Why I just did that again? Don't run through. Let it load up. Okay, well, maybe it's not loading up. So part of the process of trying to figure out. Okay, so let me get example time to let Claude Code show his stuff. Where is the? Did it just disappear? Collider? Need to see what's going on here. Okay, actually I was going the wrong way. Let's head back over to what should be solid land. Yep, okay. Stuck in it. Turn off the collider. Whoa, 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 lady. Alright, back on solid ground. Alright. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close this. Because again, we got to the end of the quest lines, more or less. We're starting to head over there. We fell through the earth. So I'm just going to pull up the Claude Code window that we have for this particular adventure that we're working on right now. And working on this adventure means that we're working on the quest system for WowShell. And essentially, WowShell is taking all the World of Warcraft data, extracting it, and then contextualizing it for Godot so that we can essentially use the world as a stage. And part of that world is the quest lines. Part of that world is the gear. Part of that world can even be like professions and other things like that. But for right now, I'm focusing on more the quest lines, the stories, the NPCs, the mobs, and the environment. And that's plenty to work on. And once I have all that kind of stuff, then I can start thinking about maybe the other things that are in World of Warcraft that I might want to start replicating. But for the most part, I just want the stage so I can start doing other stuff on it. I'm not really trying to, um, make World of Warcraft. So I might not necessarily want to make mining, or I might not necessarily want to make cooking uh, as a part of WowShell. Obviously, that's something that you can add whenever you build games. But as far as the basic system to translate what exists, because what exists is so thin when you get down to it, outside the context of the actual world and the systems and things that are powering the actual MMORPG World of Warcraft. Uh, that it's kind of not, doesn't make a lot of sense to incorporate that into the WowShell part, except for the extraction part. Being able to extract the data, of course, is important, but um, building a system to utilize like cooking data may not necessarily be worth it uh, for a generic part of the engine. If you wanted to make a cooking game that used all that cooking data, or if you wanted to make an RPG that had cooking in it, that's one thing. But right now, I don't want to mess with professions at all. I kind of don't even want to mess with gear at all. I just want to work on the combat system. Progression is not what I'm focused on. Um, the way I have combat progression is going to be by character adding, not necessarily by that character leveling up. I mean, that will happen, but um, for this demo and for this run through and for just figuring out stuff, my main focus, especially at the beginning, is just getting uh, character working and the combat system working. So enough rambling. Let's have Claude work on this. See if there's anything else I need to take care of. Oh, let's do this. Yards, 200 or 300 yards or 250. Kind of want to be aggressive, so let's set up 200. Um, D3 at, you know what, 300? LOD, no, LOD2 at 300. LOD. And LOD3 and LOD2 and LOD3 are pretty similar right now, but they are going to be different. And every use case, every game that we make with the WoW as our stage is going to have a lot of different definitions. So the output from WowShell is very flexible. It's Godot. A lot of it's just code. I mean, a lot of difference between. I mean, WowShell is not really a thing. It's a bunch of individual programs and bits of code. So all of those bits of code are malleable for each use case, and each use case is going to use a standard set, but then it's going to extend those standard sets of tools and use them however they want. So this LOD system, what happens at each LOD is going to be bespoke for this particular use of the system. And that's what I'm setting up right now. What happens at LLDs at these different ranges is going to change based on what we're doing for each game. Um, and then I'll do the LOD that at 500. The LOD2 is where it switches from the splat map to the mini map, and that looks good pretty close up. Uh, and so what we're really going to do is manage what models get shown, and when the interiors go away, uh, that sort of thing. And I think I want to normally have the interiors at 0, but 0 is usually covering a bigger range. So I think I want to do the interiors going away at 1 now instead. Okay, so I mean, plain English, detailed. The better details you give, the more specific you are about what you want, and the smaller chunks you do, the better. And quite frankly, the more that belongs to you. Um, look, I don't know what you guys think about coding, about game making. I've done a lot of it throughout my life. I've attempted a lot of it. I've succeeded very little. I am succeeding at it now, and I'm doing something that I have been wanting to do for a long time. And the gaps that I'm filling are just gaps that they're implementation. They're some best practices that most people who do this kind of stuff either know or have access to, or have the ability to access in a way that I can't, because either I don't have specific knowledge, or I don't have the time. Uh, it's not my job, or uh, I'm taking care of my son or my dogs, or my actual job. Um, you know, I just want to make these game ideas work, and I know them to a very minute level, but I also know that there's a lot of stuff that has to be worked out about them. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm working them out, and I'm just doing it with AI. And these are my ideas, and I'm not, hey, Claude, do this and pop out a game. This is very granular stuff. This is the kind of stuff that a supervisor, a game director, a product manager would be saying to a team of people. I don't have a team of people. I'm never going to have a team of people. I'm only going to have this. So it's either me alone or this, and this is significantly better for making better games. If I tried to do it alone, I can show you the game that I made alone. It's garbage. Not garbage, but it's not playable. It's not something I want to have other people waste their time on. When I'm done with this, people are going to want to play it, and they're not going to give a rat's ass that it came from AI, because they can tell somebody cared. Somebody put a lot of heart into this. Literally, I'm using Zelda hearts. Anyway, so I'm gonna get off my soapbox. I'm not gonna make a lot of stink about that. But since we are, addressing a problem with Claude and kind of demonstrating it, you know, this is something that could take days to solve. Uh, I'm gonna pause the recording, and we'll see how long it takes for it to work it. See how if it works out. You know what? I'll just let it run. Be right back. Okay, well, that didn't take very long. I'll oftentimes just go for a walk. Um, but this wasn't very many changes. And, uh, 10 minutes versus, lost 8 minutes going for a walk. Again, this problem might have taken a whole day to solve. So, see if it worked. When we head back, it loads up all the changes that Claude made. So more than often than not, you don't have to reboot Godot. If you do, that will work. If not, Godot is absurdly lightweight, especially when you're in it's just it's lightweight. I hear people. It takes like forever to load up Unity and stuff like that. Like I don't know what it's doing that Godot isn't, but Godot loads up like a champ every single time. Oh, look how fast that was fat. Oh, sometimes everybody falls through the world. Okay, so well, I loaded up fast though. All right. So I think this time I'm just going to pause. So why in the middle of it compacting its conversation? So conversation compacting is essentially all the text from what we've talked about for the entire conversation gets reviewed and summarized, and then we continue, so that you don't have just an infinite amount of information that he has to keep reviewing as far as the current conversation. You will lose some finer details when he does that. Um, so, and just from session to session, there might be finer details. There are ways to make sure that that gets preserved, but even those have tricks. Knowing how to work with this guy has been, it's a process of itself, but the results that you get out of him are absolutely worth the little quirks you have to work with. I don't, it's night and day. Like the minor things that you have to deal with are very much worth what you get out of him. Uh, so him forgetting where screenshots are stored when I say screenshots, and he's looking for me to paste screenshots. And no, I mean the Windows screenshot because I took a screenshot and it dumped it there. So just look there. So it just looks there. Uh, and then it might forget. I thought to put in memory, but sometimes if it puts stuff too far down in memory, it doesn't see it or it forgets it because it needs to put more important stuff in its like active memory, that kind of thing. So again, working with Claude is tricky and you need to know how to work with them right. But I find the best way to do it is I have the vision of the whole project. I know what it's supposed to be. I've worked with uh, what's called Claude Chat, which is like just kind of the more talky, not codey version of it, about refining my vision. But I know what it's supposed to be. So every little minute Claude code session doesn't have to have a full scope of the project because I do. So I just have to tell it what I want right now, and it does it. And that's the best way to work with it. Uh, My favorite movie is not one of my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies, but definitely my favorite movie about making movies is Day for Night. Um, Truffaut. Yeah, Truffaut sounds sort of. It's just a kick-ass movie. It's just a fun movie. It's a cool movie. It's a really neat movie. It's a French movie though. It's in French mostly. But it's a really good movie about making movies because it's passionate about them, like almost pornographic about making. It loves making movies. There's a scene, it's like an editing scene where uh, the director, who's Truffaut, playing basically himself, talking about his job as a director throughout most of the movie. That's what he's talking about. And there's just kind of a job where he's talking. It's the director's job to answer questions. People are going to come up to you and they're going to ask you a bunch of shit, and you're going to need to give them answers because they need to know what to do. And that's the job, answering people's questions and setting them off on their task. And knowing the answers to that questions is super important. And I always wondered, okay, so how do you know the answer? And you have vision. You can see it in your head, and somebody asks you a question for something you didn't account for, but because you know what the whole thing is supposed to be, you can still answer the question. And that's what a good director does, and that's what I'm doing with this Claude guy. And yeah, it's a computer, it's a tool, and I'm using it like that. But soapbox over again. Up with here. I forget what I was going to ask him to do. See if this good. Don't need to reload. Should be fine. If things look odd, then I'll start reloading every prompt. I did that for a very long time, up until like a few days ago, honestly. Uh, but it just added extra minutes to each prompt that I decided was just better spent. Uh, on the rare case that we do actually need to reset, I let Claude know, hey, just let me know that I actually need to reset when I need to actually reset. For the most part, he did, because he kept on forgetting that I reset it after every prompt, which is one of those things that I would tell him, but it's not that important. So it was far down on the list of things he needed to remember. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but we're using Zelda hearts here, but we don't have the heart in it right now, so we're just using little boxes for each heart quarter. And that's the grain of our hit points is going to be quarter hearts. So World of Warcraft with Zelda swing action and Zelda heart action. All right, let's go see if we can go kill a Father's motherfucker. Hey, look at that. Okay. Frame rate is looking pretty good. Yep, I'm doing it all over again. There we go. Let's go get that guy. Alright, let's go get the bandanas first. Huh. Interesting. The auto attack is still auto attacking. But it definitely wasn't doing any damage to him because I killed those guys pretty quick. I've got an auto combat regenerator. I thought I did that. There it goes. Alright, let's go there in style. Whoa. Oh, that's why. I have something selected. Alright. Did not mean that. Go there in style. Hey, I'm here to kill you. what? We don't need to do all that again. Just go ahead and abandon this stuff for now. Not permanently, obviously. Let's head out of town. And I'm not sure about the sizing of this character. The speed, the basic running speed is obviously a little bit quicker than normal. All right, so we get a little bit of load when we get to the edges, which is expected. Oh, I remember what I was going to tell Claude. I want to do this by chunk, not by tile, because chunk is more granular, so it loads quicker. And it will mean it will stream easier. You can stream it out a little bit slower. Let's flash this. All right. So I'll give you a little bit of a spoiler for my intents on the game progression. It's mostly going to be about when you add characters to your party, because it's a squad-based combat system. So there is going to be a priest in the inn, probably either here, maybe over by the bar. But there will be a priest at the inn, and he will be sulking because he has got his ass handed to him in the cobalt mines, and he needs help. And if you try to go in the cobalt mines, you're going to get your ass handed to you too, because you need help. You guys need each other. He needs a tank. He needs a tank. You need a healer. And he joins your party, and then you can take on the cobalt mines together. So that's basically the progression. You add a character to progress your party. And your party is essentially like a single organism. It's not a bunch of people, it's one person. It's one thing, it's an entity. It just is kind of being led by the main tank, this warrior character. Complete the quest. And yeah, usually the quest completion was being done with the A button. Same as the talk to. And yeah, you can, check out the stuff that's going on everywhere. Want to head up to the top, you can, all that kind of good stuff. Not everybody's textures and all that stuff is loading, so, and you get a bunch of weird stuff. But yeah, all the quests are here. You can see the replacement text on the top there, because it doesn't have a name. So yeah, collect the candle. It says 8, but we only need 1, because we are in debug mode. And then we'll just go get a large candle then. Hey! Need to be a little bit more aggressive about getting that collider in. Even if the terrain, like high texture, isn't loaded yet, we need to be more aggressive about that. Because I plan to be running around a lot. Mind you. I don't have a mini-map up. I don't know which way is which. Or where I'm at. Ah, there we go. Alright. Slow you down. There we go. And select target. And we got our candle. Just as easy as that. Back to town. Dark Moon Fair is in town, but not everybody has their textures. Wait, wait. There we go. Regular speed. Oh, Stormwind, huh? Yeah, we could fly, but why would anybody want to fly in a Stormwind? That'd be stupid to add to the game. For your first time walking in a Stormwind, why would anybody want to do that? That would be a silly thing to add to the game. We'll walk there. Yep. We'll walk there. We'll walk there. I'm not even 100% sure this NPC is going to be here or not. And I'm pretty sure I don't know if the music's going to change or not. If it loads correctly, does it kill the frame rate? Where's this guy at? Train district. I have to. I'll look it up. That should definitely load. Ew. Guess it's got a lot of stuff loading. Right? I don't know where to go with this quest. I think it would be here. Memory. Hey, look at me. Excellent. Let's get the hell out of here. It's fun, but it is a frame rate killer. There we go. Pull back far enough away that we're not getting a bunch of... And you can see down there the building hasn't loaded. The West Garrison, whatever that place is down there. But you can see the building on the mini-map is loaded. Because it's part of the mini-map texture. So it actually works really good as kind of a stand-in if the actual building hasn't loaded, which it hasn't. Then you get to this debug menu. And one of the things that we can do pretty much in any debug menu is turn off trees, because trees are basically the push-up bra of World of Warcraft. Makes everything look really good, and it hides so much. This is what it looks like without trees. This is the actual environment that you're talking about. Trees are low poly, and they hide everything. You can see the Stormwind mini-map texture back there, just painted on the ground. The flat ground that's underneath Stormwind. Whenever you are there, you can see a mini-map, but the actual terrain underneath you is like, well beneath the model that you're standing on. Right. And then let's turn the trees back on, just because like it. Let's go head over to Westfall and see. I want to do a whole Dead Mines run right now. You want to see if it will load this stuff up, though. Am I going to fall through? Yep. Oh no, Westfall Bar. Garrison. And whenever you turn on No Collider 2, you don't fall. which is hilarious. Yeah, we definitely need to figure out streaming priorities and all that kind of stuff. But that was pretty hilarious to watch all these guys fall to their deaths. Oh, no collider here either. Interesting. But yeah, as you can see, lots of cool stuff to figure out. Try to solve. See how hard these guys hit compared to their low. Oh, it's great task too. Not too bad. So yeah, pretty much. Pretty sure I. Oh, great task is just a type of. Or is that just a rare spawn, different locations? Gotta be the name of it. Really want to know is if I go away and come back, do those guys respawn? Not falling to their deaths. Find out. I don't feel like going through the whole rigmarole of going through dead mines to get to the end of the model. Might just clip through. How can I find the end of dead mines? How can I find them? I know I can go through this thing that loads. I'll clip until the terrain comes in. Or no collide again. Alright, well I guess I'll just go this way then. There's just no collider here. Okay. Alright. So this is where you would end up from the regular. Oh, no, there is. Nope. Oh, weird. We'll definitely have to look at that because I don't think we've had that issue before. Okay, no collider, no swimming. We're just standing there. Normally this is where you'd come out or come up and exit dead mines because the portal would just put you there. But when you actually put the dead mines model into the instant into Westfall, it is it fits, and you can tell it was intended to be here. There's a 720 video about it, but download. Doesn't fit where the exit is, and that exit would make it like backwards from where it was. So if you tried to match up those, I forget exactly what it is, but point being, if the collider works here, shouldn't. The other ones don't, but let's see. Nope. Yeah, we'll definitely have to figure that out. So we just stand. This is where the dead mines ends if it's connected to the dead mines stub in Moonbrook. So if you line up everything and you just walk from Moonbrook over to here, which you can, I did in another video if you want to watch it. This is where you end up because pretty much was intended to come out here for the finale of Dead Mines, which you can't really do in a massive multiplayer online game. There was just a bunch of reasons they didn't do it. So we just have this unused gate for the exit for Dead Mines, and then they have the other exit. And this is a single player game. We don't have such constraints. We don't have a lot of constraints at all. And who knows what we can do? I don't even know what I'm going to do. I can't spill anything because I don't know. But I got an AI that can code the hell out of some things, obviously. I got a big imagination, and I got a desire to do some crazy shit. Like, don't you want to see what I'm going to come up with? Aren't you already excited by what I've come up with? Isn't it funny to fall through the earth? That stuff, is that... Let's see what that... Probably a bunch of crypt stuff from Deadwood. Yeah, that's probably a bunch of crypt stuff. I don't know why this stuff's showing up so far away. Oh, this looks like a... Oh, you know what this is? This is a... What am I doing? Swim up, please. Thank you. There. Is this like a palette of things to choose? Put someplace? That's cool. I didn't know this was here. You see cool stuff like this all over the place. Neat. Okay, anyway, I think that's a pretty good tour for now. I don't want to get too involved in what I'm doing and a bunch of other stuff and big monolithic videos, and this one's already pretty long, so I'm just going to wrap it up, and I just kind of want to show off playing around in WoW and in Godot and with the tools that I'm making with it, and that I'm having a lot of fun. And a lot of people have asked me if I'm going to put the editor out there or not. Like, right now, it's just a mishmash of a bunch of backends and tools and things that we activate to pull what we need, and we're kind of slapping together solutions for big problems and small problems, and it's all getting shoved together, and it's not really an editor. It's not really anything I can just give somebody. I would love to, because I want to see what you guys make with it, but I actually have to build it first. So I'm building tools with it so that I know how to build it. So when I build an adventure, I know what it needs to build an adventure because I'm building an adventure with it. I'm using the Dead Mines adventure as a start. I'm using Ravenloft as a test for just building out an adventure, just like the WoW guys did when they built World of Warcraft in the first place. They used Dungeons and Dragons modules to test on. And I'm basically following the footsteps to try to get to where they got. A really, 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 really great game. And that's what I want to make, a really great game. And, it's not going to be a WowShell game when it's done. It's going to be a new game, completely new game. But I'll take all the stuff that I learned from WowShell and from Dead Mines Adventure and the other projects that I do, and I'll absolutely make a better game because of it. And that's the point. Prototyping, learning. Learning from the masters. Like painting a Renaissance painting by copying the Renaissance masters so you can learn how to paint yourself. I wouldn't be able to do this without Claude. Just wouldn't. And I've wanted to do this for so long. And I just don't care. If people don't like it, I don't care. Don't play it. Don't look at the posts. It's fine. Call it slop. Think of it as slop. I don't care. Just, it's not. This is not slop. This is something new and exciting, but it is not slop. It is not low effort, and it's not garbage. This is going to be great and fun, and I want to share it as soon as possible. So I'm excited to keep building. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'll see you guys next time.